Let's Hunt is a video series with tactics, weapons, locations and other useful tips, always around one particular animal. Good to see you, Hunter. Let's finally hunt wild boar. We're here at the Hirschfelden Reserve, the only place where wild boar appear, and we will go look after them here. I'm up here in the very north, and let me show you the map so you know where I'm starting here. This is the Hirschfelden Reserve. My tent is up here in the very north. Down here I have a tower and a feeder. I have not used this setup in a long time. I should eventually go and just collect that tower. I'm wasting that here. I've not really been using this. You can see there's a lot of open fields here, but then there's also dense woods and a bit more hills. I will just go and look for boars. I will not make any big plans, and we will see wherever the hunt is going to take us. I've already loaded up the Anschutz 8x57. It's a really cool looking rifle. Maybe not everyone's taste, but I quite like it. It's just not as strong as some other rifles, so I've not been using it lately, but I want to bring it here on this wild boar hunt. I'm also bringing the 45 long Colt in case we can shoot some of them from close. And before I even can get to it, usually the first calls here will be pheasants or roe deer, and we will likely spot both of them as well. Also have the Parker Python with some tracer arrows. So the way I hunt wild boar is, if it's not near the feeder, where you just basically go and check the feeder and then come back later, the way I hunt wild boar is I will run around and look for tracks, heavy tracks, or tracks from heavy boars will say 190 to 240. That's the best possible track that you can get, but I will also follow others. Of course, for the sake of this hunt here. So I will go to the feeder only because there's always some wild boars, or there's always a chance for them being there. But of course there's no guarantee. But you will find this place up here if you're looking for pheasants or roe deer or wild boar. This is really a good starting point. The wild boar is probably the animal that is spread over the map the most. Not sure if there's really any places where you can say there is none of them, except the very far southwest of the map. But otherwise they are really spread out all over the place. So I will glass these open fields. A pattern that you will often see is that you see 2 males and 3 females, but you can also see singles of them. It's the same pattern as you will often find with the feral hawks. And there you go. First wild boar, mid-size male. They're trotting. There's more. So let's go closer. I've got the hawk collar as well as the scent spray. And I hope I won't forget to use both of them. One is coming right over here. The male boars have a fat shield, so they're actually tough to shoot. The larger the boars, the thicker the fat. And even though they're smaller than the deer, the large deer and the moose and everything, and also the bears, they're still not easy to shoot. Hello there. You can tell this one's not quite a high scoring male, otherwise he would have spooked. Maybe I can even use the revolver if it is this close. But again, remember the fat shield. And I see the bright blood spot, which means it's a long shot, so I didn't care about a follow-up shot. The bright blood means it's either heart or lungs or both. And there's our first boar. Of course the other ran away now. The wild boar would be one of those animals where they really need to improve the fur. The score says T. Let's just get rid of the goose here. Otherwise. So here's our white boar. I'll talk about the score when the goose are gone. You see the tusks. And like I said, the fur could use some improvements. And the color is quite the same all over the hawk, all over the pig. That could also use some variations here and there. It's great to hear geese when you're hunting geese. Otherwise they can be a bit annoying at times. They're quite loud. Here's the next pheasant. So the score of the feral hawk and the wild boars is the same. There's two different ones. One has a W and one has a T. And what they do is they calculate the weight in pounds, which is one number, and then they measure the size of the tusks for the males, which is another number. Females will always be just a W score. There's only the weight that you can measure. Males will show you the higher number. If the weight score is higher, you will see the weight score with a W. And if the tusk score is higher, you will see the tusk score with a T. That's what this letter means. So here he was still happily trotting. This one here. But I'm already looking for fleeing tracks of this. Yet another pheasant male. Just remember to reload. Now we've got 5 bullets instead of 4. But I'm not going to shoot 5 bullets at a time anyway. Just a habit. So following wild boar can be quite a challenge, especially high scoring ones. They will go pretty fast. They will trot a lot. And whenever it says trotting, the circle is not accurate. Oh, I got a spotting information. Where are you? What is it? Would have been a pheasant as well. Because I'm really expecting to see fleeing tracks from the wild boar. So following the wild boar can be a challenge. I've been going after some of them for hours, literally. And then they will trot, they will turn around. You don't know that they're coming. And then flee again, so they can be quite a challenge. We've got some natural borders here, like the waterfront up front, the river that's coming up. So you want to be extra careful around those borders, because you don't know where they go when they hit the borders. Could be already trotting right back into me. I don't have any camo, so Boone and Crockett and some shirt doesn't give you any protection, which makes it extra hard. If you want to be on the safe side, go for the fall camo, which is available for fields and forests. Did he go left or right? The angle of the cone lets us believe he went right, but let's go see. One way, of course, is just go very slow and wait for a call. And it is on the left. I'm not surprised. And he did come right back at me. So I'm looking for the next fleeing track, really. Is this a boar I see? No. Sometimes it's just better to look right away with the weapon. I don't know if you've noticed, since a recent patch, the binoculars come up a lot slower. No idea what triggered this change, but it takes quite a while now. I like it faster. Oh well. There's a track down there, so maybe the next one is over here. Yes. Most likely fleeing. From 6 minutes ago. Now this one will calm rather fast. It's not a big male. But as long as it's nervous, I cannot lure it. Plus, what you never want to do is lure an animal blindly. Like if you guess it's somewhere around, you start calling. Because you don't know where it is, so you will have to keep going. But if you call it and it reacts, then it'll come right back to you and then run away. It'll see you before you see it. So only call if you're sure that the animal is there, it's calm, it calls. Otherwise, don't just call out in the blue unless you're stationary in a stand or something. The wild boars will attack you when they are cornered, or sometimes when you shoot one of them in a group. Another might just stand the ground, look at you fiercely and come after you. So you'll have to be careful, and they're rather fast. They'll come in like a plow. So this could happen here as well. And I'm back at my tent. I could have just stayed here. Maybe the cone is misleading again. Yes, there's the next track. Just barely missed that. I saw the tent but not the track. In case of doubt, don't go too fast. Because then you have a chance for it to call. It ran right through my tent and ate all the bait. The revenge of the wild boar. The wild boar is now back to roaming, but that doesn't mean you can call it. In order to be sure whether it has really come out of stress, it would have to call. That's the only way for you to be sure. So I'm scanning all the corners here. And it was fleeing again. It probably saw me here, coming over the field. Like I said, a good challenge. They're a good sparring partner for tracking. What I've done sometimes with larger boars, in situations like this, I've just ran them out of the woods, hoping they will stand still somewhere in an open field. Because you can see, even with a small one like this, this is already a really good challenge. Of course, I've been walking for quite a long time, but even just crouching after them is quite a task. And as you can see, many times the track is not within the cone. And what's also difficult is once you see it, when you catch up, you have to shoot it from behind. which is everything but ideal. Still fleeing. They can run pretty far. Can we trust the cone this time? Yeah, just roughly. And this is tracking level 20. So I have the best possible information on the cone. I should see the tracks from further. So you can imagine if you're at a low tracking level, this can be really, really tedious. The males are pitch dark. They're a bit easier to see, so keep looking for a dark spot out ahead. And there it runs. Or at least something ran. And it's not quacking. So it's not a road deer. Very likely our boar. Yes. So the circle was suggesting it's still a couple of meters away. But he might have stood there for a while now. So we spooked it again. It's fleeing for the 4th time if I count it right. Again, I'm not wearing any camo clothes. For every one of you who don't have any camo for this specific area, this is how wild boar hunting can be. When they opened Bush Rangers Run, the Australian map, they announced that they would introduce feral hawks there as well. And then many said, no, you should really put the wild boar there, because we already have the ferals in 2 places and the wild boar only in 1. So EW considered this, but they came back and said, no, actually it's really feral hawks that belong into the Australian map, because this is what is really correct. Those were domesticated pigs that ran into the wild and became feral. And wild boar is not really correct. And here it runs again. So this guy is a good challenge. Came back, you can see from the circle, pointing at me from the cone. There's again water ahead. But I cannot pay more extra attention than I do already. Keep crouching into this wild boar here. Some open areas, maybe a chance for us to see it. The tracking color blue or light blue or cyan works here as well. But you've got thicker vegetation here. And you've got a wild boar zigzagging ahead of you. And there it runs again. This can go on for a while. It's not unusual. You see multiple tracks in the same spot. There he comes. Hopefully finally out of these woods here. Out into the open maybe. So the first boar we shot rather fast. And now we're tracking this one for quite a while now. There he is. Not a good situation. But I should have hit him. Back here. 110 meters. The only thing that could have been in between was a tree. Shooting in between the trees is a bit risky. But hopefully we finally caught up with this guy. And it's not even a big one. So this one will say trotting. Oh no, this is the bleeding track already. It's a long shot. And there's our wild boar. And what is this, roe deer? Alright, so there you are. That was a good fight. And of course a T-score with the tusk spot. 777 is really a low score. The best scores are over 1200. Alright, we finally did it. I don't mind failing when tracking and showing you how you can fail, because this is really what happens. If you see videos from people saying, oh, this is easy, just go here and track it down and not a big deal. It really is not easy to hunt these, to track these down. Of course there's better hunters out there, but easy it is not. So I will now keep running, looking for other tracks, more tracks from other boars. Maybe we'll get a call. We'll see. Number of tracks could be boars. And it is. So let's see. One male, one female. And this one doesn't tell me. Two females. Looks like we have two females and one male. And the male not being anything special. So usually I wouldn't bother. And one female being heavier than the male. You can imagine what kind of low score that's gonna be. So I'm basically going after them, waiting for a call. 3 of them gives me a rather good chance. There you go. They are pretty straight ahead here. Just beyond the road. Hello, pheasant. I would like to apply the scent spray without the collar. There they go. Alright, from here I'll crouch. I'm already close now. Ooh, coming back. So applying the scent spray. Without calling. Although these are different ones. The gray ones are always females. And I thought I'd seen a gray up there. And the ones on the hill here, 2 of them were black. Only 1 gray, so these are different females. I have to be extra careful. Or what's back there? Roe deer. And as you can see, they come nicely exactly to the calling location. And there they run. So it's multiple females, 3 females at least. They saw it run, so they ran as well. And back there you can already see the dome. That's where the dead animal is. I just wonder if our others will come back as well. It really depends how far they went. If they heard the shot, if they saw them run, then they're gone as well. But they might have been just far enough to not have noticed, so I'll be careful. We don't see the glowing arrow. Let's push her around. She's stuck on the ground. Oh well. There is the arrow and has stopped glowing. So checking one more time for these. Don't see them. And the females have run away. All right. On to the next pack. So here my feeder location, and they pretty much wasted tower because I've not been using this feeder in a long time. But I've shot a lot of wild boars here with the 4570 running down the field. Wild boar. Again a pack, a couple of them. And it seems again 3 of them. And there they are, even while I'm running, they call from the other side. This time I'll use the caller. There's a passage over the river exactly between me and the boars. So that's where they will have to come back. There they are. There's our 3 happy females. Just checking behind them is a larger field. So if I shoot at them, I should be able to follow them. and find another. Let's see if one comes into a good position. So this one I would want to have running. Now it's too far to the right, so let's say the gray can run. And as we follow them, likely we will see the gray again. Or the other. Hello, you cannot swim, remember. And you got wet feet. I'm still dreaming of flowing water in the Hunter. Maybe one day we'll have rivers with flowing water. So let's see what my shot was like. Hopefully I've hit the lungs again. Yes, I can see the bright blood from here. And this is who we follow. And there's a W score, always W for females. Looks like both ran in this direction. That doubles our chances for actually seeing one. Of course, they don't always run straight. And there's one of them. Coming back. That's a good idea. Staying behind the trees so she doesn't see me. The other I cannot see. You are quite a hero. This is more fun. Crawling into the unknown rather than pulling out a rifle. There she is. She gonna attack? Yes. She does attack. Sorry, lady. Brain shot. This is a lot more fun than pulling out the rifle and just dropping it. Alright, let's go for one more. Quite a big pheasant. I've got nothing to shoot it with except the bow. Didn't bring a shotgun. Farewell and live long. We will never know the score. The next field ahead, also a tent. Now the lame version would be to fast travel to the tent. But no, I want to follow it and see it in the field. Finally catching up here. Not ideal, but oh well. Then we'll shoot it twice. So how do you like the boom of this weapon? So here's our last wild boar in a wild open field. Poor thing had no chance. There she is. Two shots, totally destroyed. Alright, so we've been hunting wild boar here for a little bit in the north of Hirschfelden. And as you can see, when you spook them, it can be quite the task to catch up with them and to finally catch them or shoot them. And when they spook, as you can see, it might take a while until you catch up and can finally shoot them, but there's plenty of them around. You can use various weapons as I have done. I hope this helped, and I'll see you next time. I hope you enjoyed, never got annoyed. Thank you very much. Stay in touch.